And so you're logged out all the time. And so I build something over Tailscale that makes your cookies perfectly in sync. And so this morning I was using another product of mine that I built with Trevin called the printing press. And it's creating CLIs out of anything. And so I'm trying to create a TaskRabbit CLI right now. I can get into that in a second, why that's interesting. It's a human goat CLI, but that's a side thing. And often on my own machine, my agent is logged out. And so I said this morning, CE plan, take a look at the printing press and take a look at Agent Cookie, two unrelated projects of mine, and figure out what printing press uses for har sniffing when creating a new CLI or agent skill, and how Agent Cookie currently works, and figure out how all my agents locally, so that's for Vercel's agent browser, that's browser use, that's I think Playwright, how they are always logged into everything. And then it's like, okay, I made a plan, and then I didn't load the plan, because you should never look at the plan, because you got to move fast. But I had one question. For my agent this morning. I said, you're just modifying Agent Cookie, right? You don't have to make a change to Vercel's agent browser or to Playwright or to browser use. And it's like, nope, just Agent Cookie. This will magically work just with Agent Cookie. I'm like, great. All right, CE work. Let's go build. And I think it built it, by the way. I think it finished a few minutes ago. I haven't looked at it yet.
Can you actually go to your terminal and show me what the plan looks like?
I said you're not supposed to look at the plan, but sure, let's see it.
I'm trying to understand the difference between CE plan and just regular plan mode. What's so good about CE plan?
Let's see what happened here. So I said, CE plan, can you dig into the printing press and how the agents use agent browser use for har sniffing, then dig into the agent cookie works and how the sync logged in. Are you sure you're logged in? Office says I'm not. How can we fix that with agent cookie? And then I said, no, sorry, I didn't mean that. Is it only agent cookie? And it's like, yes, I'm only modifying agent cookie. I was like, all right, great, go. So that was my one question without ever looking at this plan. Obviously, I could have read this plan and maybe that would have created some value, but not really, because I just had one question. If I was submitting a bunch of PRs to agent browser and Playwright and modifying their code bases versus just making a PR to agent cookie.
Yeah. So I guess to summarize, the difference between, and I interviewed Kieran too, the difference between CE plan, just asking the agent to plan, is it does a ton of research on your code base and online, and also writes a pretty comprehensive plan, right? It goes into a lot more detail.
So I don't even know, because I don't read them, is the honest answer. But but the results are good, and my products often work and they don't break.
Yeah.
Right. So for me, it's just about the iteration cycle. It's okay, I asked you to make a thing, and you made a thing, and then it's okay, does the thing work? Is it any good? And if it does, great. Thank you, Kieran. Thank you, Compound Engineering. But I think the big thing is I don't have to worry about it, because I've used it so much that I'm able to just trust it, and I know what types of questions lead to success and failure.
Got it. So you do this for pretty much every new feature you want to build, and then you see build, and then do you read the code, the PRs and stuff, or do you kind of is there a command for that too, like a skill?
So I certainly don't read any code. I don't even know how to read any code. I haven't written any type of code since high school, and that was probably HTML. I don't even think CSS was that big when I was in high school, and maybe some AppleScript language type stuff. But that's my engineering skill set. So certainly don't do that. And then if I'm submitting an external PR, then I like to glance at it, obviously, and hit submit and make sure I'm saying things that are normal.
That's actually okay. Maybe I should have done more research. Okay, I thought you were actually an engineer, but it sounds like you're an agentic engineer, not a
engineer. I'm not an engineer. I don't know what you call me. I've called myself a nerd my whole life. I remember when I got my first job at Dig in 2007, and I've been a nerd my whole life. Everyone would call me to fix their Wi-Fi. I used to camp out for Macworld to see Steve Jobs speak when I was a kid, and then I arrived in San Francisco in 2007, and I was like, I'm one of you. You're my people. Yeah, I'm so excited. And then they're like, do you have a CS degree? Are you an engineer? I'm like, no, I'm just a nerd like you. And they're like, not so much. And so I've always felt this, I don't know what the word is, like there was always a negative signal. It's like, oh, Matt doesn't know, he doesn't understand. And again, this I still don't try and pretend like I know. I literally say I don't read the plan. I don't know what's happening. And so I obviously respect engineering and real engineers, and I am not under any circumstance that, but somehow I'm able to ship things of value, which is crazy and weird and still blowing my mind.
This episode is brought to you by Riverside. I've used Riverside for years to record my podcast because it records in 4K resolution each person locally, so the audio and video still comes through clean, even if a guest's Wi-Fi gets shaky. But the reason I love it now more than ever is what happens after we stop recording. If I go in here, that I can use these AI tools to remove pauses, remove filler words, and just clean up the recording. And I can also edit the transcript directly, and it will automatically generate clips with captions ready to publish to YouTube, Spotify, and all types of social media platforms, all from one place. As a one-person creator business, that matters a lot. Riverside is the upgrade your content workflow needs. Try it at creators.riverside.com/Peter Yang and use code Peter Yang at checkout to get 1 month completely free. That's creators.riverside.com/Peter Yang. Now back to our episode. And it pretty much started, like these tools started becoming good enough, would say last year, like late last year, or this is like a pretty recent phenomenon, right? That you can just like ship out the stuff.
November 24th, Opus 4.5 shipped, and a few weeks later, the latest version of Codex shipped. So I call it BCAC, before Claude and Codex, after, but it was that Thanksgiving last year where it stopped being a toy. Like I'd been playing and building and was an early adopter of Cursor when it first came out, but I couldn't build anything of value. It was like, oh look, I made a weather app that kind of works, and those sorts of things. They're like, look, I was able to build a small app where I can ask a question to ChatGPT or to Claude. Like that was like my and then I would spend like 3 days trying to get Google OAuth to work, and it didn't. But there was that shift, that BCAC, Thanksgiving last year, where it stopped being a toy and started being real.
That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. And well, I think one of the most exciting things that you shipped is the printing press. So do you want to tell us what it's all about?
Sure.
And maybe you can talk about like what's so special about CLI versus like MCP or like some of these other integrations.
So this is printingpress.dev. So how this started was, it was Sunday morning, and I said, CE plan, I want to start a programming language from scratch for agents. And my agent was like, sure, let's get right on it. That's such a good idea. I'm going to make an intensive plan for how we're going to build the best programming language. You know, agents are always over eager to please. And after kind of did its research and came back and told me about the other agent programming languages, like I think there's one called Mog. It was pretty much like, TLDR, this is a terrible idea. You should not do this under any circumstance. There is no value to this. And I was like, dang it, but agents and CLIs and agent efficiency, like there has to be something here. Like what Peter Steinberger is doing is incredible with OpenClaw and all the CLIs he's making. Like what could be something interesting that we could make today on Sunday and like ship in a day or so. And somehow that jamming back and forth, CE plan, CE work, ended up inventing this crazy, I wish I need to find the original plans because I'm curious like what exactly was said. This is all a memory, but it's all written down somewhere. There's a plan I haven't read somewhere that was the printing press original plan and my original prompt. But the basic gist of where we ended up was I started studying Peter Steinberger is whenever his agent, so his OpenClaw, would have a problem using a service. So like Google apps, like Google Sheets, Google Docs, Gmail, he would create a CLI for himself. And so GOG CLI is made by Peter. And then he would find some frustrating with something else. Like on Discord, There was no good CLI. There was an API, but there wasn't a good CLI. And so he's like, I'm going to make disk crawl. And he would do this. And he would do this for himself, selfishly, but because Peter is incredible and lives in this open source for the greater good of people. So he builds something for himself and then he ships it open source to the world. And so I had my agent start studying his patterns. And there were two very, very interesting things. So first, another thing is I ran last 30 days on Google's official CLI versus Peter's CLI. And I said, okay, which one should I use? I should use Google's. It came out like 3 months after they got to learn from Peter's. Yeah. And last 30 days says you should use Peter's under all circumstances. It is much better than Google's. And so I was like, what? Why? How is this possible? Google got to look at Peter's. And so I dug in, and there's a lot of things he's done, but there were kind of two that really stuck out for me. So one, everything that Peter does, he thinks of the power user. So he's mindful of what is someone that is a power user going to do with this. Like imagine an agent is a power user beating up something all the time. What are they going to do? And the second thing he does is about speed and token efficiency. And so one of the things that pretty much all of Peter's CLIs do is it downloads everything and creates an SQLite database. So for example, let's go with Discord. So OpenClaw has a Discord. There's a lot of activity there. And so Peter would be like, hey, what's the top feature request? If he just like asked the Discord API, hey, what's the top feature request that people posted in my Discord lately? It'd be like, okay, well, let me see what's been written down. Let me download all the messages from today. Download message 892, 893, 894. Okay, yeah. I've looked at these and I've analyzed them. But if he's already downloaded and has an SQLite database of everything that's ever posted in his Discord because it's just built into his CLI, that's brilliant.